Oh, steam rising from the coffee. I overheated. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 161 of the Let's Grow Annual Challenge. Today we're talking about mutual respect and trust. Two areas that are core values for me. And I think it's like so many other people. It's because we've been involved in relationships where we did not receive those things. And that's why they're so important to us. So I'm going to talk about mutual respect and trust a little bit. We'll talk about building trust and building mutual respect, maintaining it, what we need to do that, both mutual respect and trust, as well as how do you try to regain it. Sometimes you can regain trust and mutual respect. Sometimes you can't. Sometimes the relationship is just killed because of the lack of these two things. So trust is believing and being confident that the other person will do what they say they're going to do, that they're treating us in the ways that we're going to talk about in a little bit. So for example, let's talk about trust first. Building trust, honesty and transparency. You have to be who you are, open and honest and true, and communicate your feelings. You have to be reliable, right? The other person has to be able to count on you and rely on you. And you have to be consistent. They have to know what to expect in order to trust you. What happens if, and how do we maintain trust? Well, by being consistent, by behaving in consistent ways, by, we've all met people who are just all over the place in terms of what they think and how they feel and how they act about stuff. And they're like a time bomb. You never know what to expect from them. They're not very trustworthy, right? Because you never know if one moment they're going to be awesome and then the next minute they're going to explode at you. Effective communication is another way to maintain trust. When we need to rebuild trust, you have to take responsibility. And this is the area that I found people have the hardest time in. When you hurt somebody or you mislead them or you break their trust, you have to take responsibility for doing that. You don't blame the other person. I was in a relationship where the other person blamed me for absolutely every wrong thing that they did, and immoral, unethical, etc. But it was always my fault and I had nothing to do with it. Forgiveness and patience. You have to be forgiving and you have to be patient in order to rebuild trust. How about mutual respect? Mutual respect is treating the other person the way you want to be treated, right? If you want to be treated well, you treat them well and you treat them the same way you expect to be treated. Ways to build that are through empathy, understanding where the other person is coming from, just being open in communication. Active listening is another key way to show that you are empathetic and that you are respectful of the other person and their feelings. And then value the differences. Guess what? All of us human beings, we're all different. So we have to appreciate what's different about us and actually realize that that's what adds spice and interest to our relationships. With respect to maintaining mutual respect, we want to have consistent behavior again, right? Consistency breeds and gives us confidence in what we can expect from another person. Again, effective communication helps us to maintain mutual respect as well as trust. And then how do we rebuild it? And again, mutual respect. If you don't respect somebody and then they lose their respect for you, sometimes you can't rebuild that. Sometimes the relationship's just over. But through humility, meaning taking responsibility if you broke someone's trust, as well as taking responsibility for your own actions and behaviors, learning from them, and then being humble and human about it. Again, not blaming the other person. And then understanding, forgiveness, communication, patience. If you hurt somebody, guess what? They may never forgive you. It's up to them whether they forgive you or not. They may not want to be in a relationship with you ever again for valid reasons, right? If you can't trust somebody, you can't really be in a relationship with them. At least that's been my experience. So we've got Rena's story today and guide to the Let's Grow Annual Challenge private Facebook group. What we're going to do today as an action item, it's Sunday, so some Sundays I like to take it easy. We're just going to think about trust and mutual respect in our relationships. Are we giving what we expect to receive? Are we being consistent? Are we treating the people we're in relationships with the way we want to be treated? You don't have to tell anybody. You don't have to be honest with anybody else, but be honest with yourself. Are you? I know that I'm not always awesome in my relationships. I was hanging out with my 3-year-old granddaughter this morning and she kept sighing. And I thought, oh my God, is that what I sound like to her when I'm exasperated or frustrated. And I'm sure it absolutely positively does. So there is a great wake up call for me in terms of how I want to be perceived versus how I am actually being perceived, and how I want to build trust in my relationship with that little human being. So action item today, just be honest, pay attention to your own behavior, and ask yourself, is there an area in with respect to trust or mutual respect that I could be better at? Guess what? There always is. All right. Any questions? Hit me up. Otherwise, Guide 2's got a write up and Rena's story. Have an awesome day, and I will, of course, be with you tomorrow.